Now, this is a story I saw that hits pretty close to home. Sometimes I crack myself up. Housing minister pledges cash for more Alberta homes, urges provinces to get creative. And this is from the Canadian Press, Canada's trusted news leader. Sure. Only after that $800 million you took from the Trudeau government. Let's just forget about that. Anywho, Airdrie, Atlanta. Canada's housing minister announced Tuesday almost 25 million to build homes in Alberta, while using provincial governments to get creative about getting even more off the ground. Okay, let us do our sort of our average calculation here. I want to see what that 25 million will do. All right, so if we have $20 million, give me the $25 million. All right. Um, all right. So I just did a quick look at the average to build a house, let's say in Calgary, because honestly, who wants to really build a house in Edmonton? It's too cold in Edmonton. So let's say Calgary. Let's say Calgary. So the average price to build a house in Calgary is 150 to 240 per square feet. So let's just take the 150. You're going to build a small house, or yeah, let's just take the lower half, 150. So the average house in Calgary. Well, okay. So an average square footage in a house is 1,650 square feet. I'm just going by an American standard because, uh, of course. So if we're talking about building houses, that 25 million dollars, and what did we say the average in Calgary is per square foot is about 150. So if we take 150, 150 multiply that by let's just say 1600. That's not exact, but we'll go by exact. And then so the average house to build, and that's just to build. So I assume that's gonna be more is $240,000. I know what all you guys are saying is like to build a house for $240,000. I wish, I wish. So, but let's just say you're really good at like haggling or something. I don't know, the tradesmen. You're just hiring apprentices, right? So that 25 oops, million, and take that average for houses. So you're gonna build. So if we divide that 25 million by yeah, if we can divide that 25 million by the $240,000 per house. Off of that 25 million, we'll be able to pay for 104 houses. Now let's just say okay. So we're not going to be able to build like single family houses, right? Like like you know, it'll have to be apartments. Build apartments. So even though they said it's, the housing minister is going to give 25 million to build homes in Alberta. So okay. So actually, we should stick with this since it's going to be in homes. That's what he says. So, and we're going on the low end. He's saying what I read online here is that average home should be $240,000. Now let's see if I can do a little digging to find the actual cost to build a home. Well, I think the actual cost to build a home would be the higher end. That like so the higher end was $240 per square foot. So yeah, it's more like $396,000. And I can bet you that's not including permitting, landscaping, electrical, plumbing, that is probably the house, like just the house. So that's even less they're helping build. Anyways, continuing. We're living in a housing crisis across the country, Sean Fraser told reporters in Airdrie. Provincial governments actually have the legislative authority to make some changes that we're now incentivizing through the federal spending power. Sure, helping build 100 homes there. If the provincial government wanted to see these kinds of changes, they could work with municipalities to establish them. Fraser announced 24.8 million to fast track the building of more than 900. How in the world? Like we just did the math there. How is that fast tracking 900 homes? Like, how about reduce government regulation on permitting? There you go. Okay, well, we didn't even have to do that much math on it. So per home, how much are they actually helping, or is this just showing off? So we're gonna have 24,800 divided by 900. So 24.8 million for 100 homes. Okay, per home, they'll they'll be adding $27,555. Okay, so it's not just boastful bluster, I guess. The money comes from the Federal Housing Accelerator Fund, which provides funding to help communities find innovative ways to eliminate barriers to building homes. This is Canada. We don't really have. It's governmental barriers that we have, not really money barriers when it comes to building houses. Henry is committed to streamlining zoning bylaws to expedite minimum density housing, such as townhouses and multiplexes across the city. And we will also encourage more secondary suites by reducing parking restrictions and lot sizes. Fraser said 179 agreements under the Housing Accelerator Fund have been signed across the country. There are no provincial government officials at the announcement. What? So did Fraser just pull a Trudeau and just like appear in Airdrie out of nowhere and was just like, okay, we're gonna do this right now even though nobody's here. Do his little like video and then disappear? It kind of seems ridiculous that no government official was there. Thanks for that, Ottawa. They'd probably say the same thing. It's like, hey, that's, thanks for helping one city and probably not even. How about don't give us the money and just make it easier to get permits, make the cheap for lumber go down, right? Make all of the government taxes for all of the materials lesser. Like the taxes on lumber, gas, um, the cost of wire for electrical, the cost of pretty much everything for a house has gone up, has skyrocketed. And it's because of this crazy spending that the government's been doing. How about put that money and put it towards the government debt? But no, we're gonna print more so you can buy more expensive houses, I guess. And that's what this money is gonna do is, or which worse will happen is this money will be given to companies like Boardwalk or companies like Main Street, and they're going to build their roach infested buildings, make it on a discount, and then people will have to pay massive amounts for apartments. I think what in Edmonton it's like $2,200 for a 2 bedroom apartment. You think this accelerator fund is going to help? And it doesn't even seem like what's a low density townhouse? It's not a normal bungalow townhouse. So what are we going to be living in cubicles? Or is that what they're calling apartments now? Low density townhouses. Ottawa and Alberta have been at loggerheads over the fund. Okay. Nobody uses loggerheads, so I don't even know what. Okay. Alberta Social Services Minister Jason Nixon has said Alberta is not getting the funding equivalent to its 12% of the population, and that the money is disproportionately flowing to Edmonton and Calgary at the expense of medium-sized cities. Now that's true. Okay, so this minister is so that's a municipality, is it? No, it's a Alberta Social Services Minister. I thought they said nobody from the provincial government was there. Okay. Anyways, Fraser said that the goal of the program is innovation, not per capita funding. Apparently, and Alberta is receiving just a shade under 12% anyway, at 150 million. So that's okay. If so, hopefully you're doing the same thing with Quebec and Ontario. Are you just giving them? Are they just giving them shade under what they're supposed to get? I can tell you, if Quebec was getting less than they're supposed to get, uh, the government would go bowing to them and give them more the next year to make up for it. But we're Alberta. We're fixed person here. We don't really get what they mean here because we're just farmers. Yeah, that's what they think about it. That's why they think they can pull that 12% anyway, or just a shade under, and not even saying like how much under. It's just a shade. That's good job. No, I guess there's more. Good job, Canadian press. He also said big cities and small rural communities are benefiting under the program. Okay. Airdrie Mayor Peter Brown said, with more workers and families coming in droves, the squeeze is on for housing. Yes, especially on places like Airdrie. I can imagine. Like, Airdrie is not a big city, and it's extremely close to Calgary, and it's one of the cities that, if you want to kind of be out of the hustle and bustle of Calgary and not have to pay Calgary prices on housing, or Airdrie is pretty good. And I guess close enough for work if you want to drive an hour and a half through traffic to get to work. In Red Deer, NDP opposition leader Rachel Notley said the United Conservative Party government is failing to fund for growth in Alberta communities, particularly with sewer, water, and road construction. And it was no better under you, Rachel Notley. So don't you be talking about that. Rachel Notley, our hypocrite in chief. I have stories from when I left school and I was a Red Seal journeyman electrician. Should have been able to get a job anywhere in Alberta, and I had to work as a yardsman because there was no jobs back when Rachel Notley um, was leader, was in charge of the province. There's no jobs available. So her saying that the UCP is failing is purely hypocritical on her part. Anyways, this will worsen an already debilitating affordability crisis. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Oh, apparently this is a pretty old one. March 5th. Oh, wait, no. Anyways, there's our rant about the most up to date on Alberta homes. Apparently, the government's going to pay for 100 of our houses in Airdrie. I guess every little bit counts. I still say they should just pour that money into reducing taxes and reducing the cost of permits and other government stuff. But or just instead of giving us that money, be like, hey, we're going to take off all the carbon tax for you Albertans, but that's just me. So if you like this, if you're from Alberta and definitely from Airdrie, leave something below and tell me, what do you think? Do you think it would be better to lessen taxes, or is it better that we get that that 25 million in bulk right now? Do you think just building these 900 houses will help, or does the government need to do something a little bit more than just build 900? Anyways, Thank you, and have a great day.